So that was some stuff happened yesterday. That riot that took place in DC. Um, in a sense, I'm disappointed that people would do something like that. But um, in another sense, I could understand some of their rage and frustrations. In particular, I want to talk about the young woman that died, the vet, United Air Force vet, uh, Ashli Babbit, in particular, who actually got shot and killed. It's unfortunate that she died. I've looked at some of her videos in detail, some of her rants, and she was definitely very angry with the system, and for good reason. Um, she made a few good points of politicians not really giving a damn about anybody, and she's right. And if you look at politicians on Capitol Hill, they they're there forever. They're multi millionaires, and they're just there, and they're there not really doing anything for the people. Just recently, they're denying giving us stimulus checks for $2,000, for example. You know, it's all a game to them because they don't need money or anything like that. They hold the power. So there are many ways to go about dealing with these type of people in politics. Vote them out. Some of these guys have been there for 30, 40 years. They keep getting reelected. We keep putting them back into office. Vote them out. I'm really sad she has a fellow soldier like I am. I'm a Marine, retired, of course, and she's retired from the Air Force. It's sad to see something like that occur. On the other hand, there were other ways to approach this. Again, create something more organized than what they had. The white privilege obviously didn't work for her in this case. Fortunately, they were white because there probably would have been a lot more killings if it shootings if it were black people, more black people or Hispanic people or something like that. But to think that by storming a Capitol building, there was no risk to being shot at. Yes, taxpayers paid for all of that, and yes, we should have the rights to go in some of these places, but we can't just what occurred was that they were storming the place, breaking the glass and all that stuff to enter, and maybe they had to do that to be recognized. The peaceful protest was not going to work, and of course incited by President Trump, and hopefully they invoke the 25th Amendment and remove him immediately for inciting such a thing, because there are other ways to cope to deal with this. Vote these people out of office. That's one of the biggest. You want to send a message to the government. Vote everybody out. All these old timers that's in there, that has the old boys club and doing their own thing, and just bring new people in. Find good candidates that could run either under Democratic or Republican or independent. Have a whole slew of independents run against these in every district and in every county and in every state, and just replace everybody in Congress. That's been there forever, because obviously nothing is really done. They truly don't care about the country, the people in the country so much, except protecting, big corporations, the money that backs them, and all that stuff. They follow the money. But back to, Miss Ashli Babbit. What I would say is that she had conviction, and she was willing to die, and she did die for what she believed in. Based on looking at some of her other videos, she was very passionate about this, and she was willing to put her life on the line for it. And it's unfortunate that she did lose her life for it. A lot of these other people that showed up there, may not have been as willing to put their lives on the line for what they believe in. But she did. So, in a sense, I commend her for actually standing her ground. However, they shouldn't have gone in like a mob style approach where they broke the glass, they scaled the walls, they push everything down, and just stormed their way in, because that's welcoming tragedy, and the tragedy that occurred, one, which is fortunate. It could have been a lot more. And had they gone in more organized, they might have had a better chance of making a point. They just kind of storm the place with no game plan, with no objective except storm the place and be heard in an angry mob. So retaliation by any government would be likewise in violence. And fortunately, everything ended smoothly. President Trump should have, well, he wasn't there, or even since he incited everything, he did not show up at all. According to him, in a game of chess, the pawns go first, and these people were his pawns. And unfortunately, Miss Ashli Babbit kind of fell into that trap. The police authorities said, don't, back up. And they obviously drew a line somewhere where you couldn't cross. And as soon as you cross that line, she got shot. She was the first to go through and got shot. Nobody else went through after her or tried to go any further because a line was drawn. So, people, there are lots of ways to challenge the government. Boycotts is something that I prefer. Hit them where it hurts in the money. Vote them out of office. Find people that could run against them and start campaigning now. Lobby the government as a group to remove Congress from lifelong terms where they could run every 4 years or every 6 years till they die. Set their limits to 2 terms, just like the president's limit is set, so it reduces the kind of influence they have, where new people can come in and fresh ideas can come in and either continue the work that was done before them or to go in a whole new direction. These are ways that you can do, like we could do things like that. Continuously call Congress for your district or your state repeatedly all the time. Hold them accountable. These are things that can be done. It's easier said than done, but come voting time, that's when you could really have the power to change the things you don't like. So instead of raiding or turning from a peaceful protest into a mob type approach, vote these people out. Have new people run and get their names out there and show their background, show what they're capable of doing, what they're willing to do, and vote those new people into office, and set limited terms for people to be in Congress, just like it was done for the presidency. If you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. You all have a good, safe, and blessed day.